Welcome back to the Manc Entrepreneur YouTube channel, and in today's episode I'm talking to you about how Adidas have just made a huge marketing shift from TV to online. I will apologise in advance for a bit of a weird sounding voice. I'm at the tail end of a cold, which you could probably tell in one of the earlier videos. It was just starting. I think I'm over the worst of it. But with that said, enough about me. I want to talk to you today about the shape of marketing and what we can learn from a move that Adidas have just announced this week. So as you can see on the screen right now, this was an article which has been published on an e-commerce news site this week, and yes, it's true, Adidas is moving away from traditional TV advertising onto digital media, and their chief executive Kasper Rorsted, if I'm saying that right, is saying that the shift is driven by two important goals within the company, as they're looking to capture more of their crucial demographic, as in younger consumers, and they also are looking to quadruple their e-commerce sales by 2020. So right now it's approximately €1 billion a year, and by 2020 they want that to be €4 billion, and the angle they are taking to achieve this is by investing or moving their advertising spend from TV onto digital media. By digital media, we mean anything that is online. So it could be Facebook, Instagram, social, anywhere, AdWords, articles, bloggers, vloggers, could be anything. So basically, you're going to see much more of an Adidas presence online as opposed to what they were traditionally doing with TV advertising. Now, this is huge news. As far as I'm aware, Adidas are the first global brand to come out with and sort of publicly state that this is going to be their marketing strategy. Sure enough, last year, Devin Wenig, the CEO of eBay, came out and said that they were going to be spending much more of their ad spend on social media especially, but on digital marketing as well. But that's eBay, and eBay have never really been that big on TV advertising. You know, compared to Adidas, the whole brand awareness of Adidas, you see TV advertising from Adidas all the time. And for them to publicly come out and say, we're moving to digital media as our main focus, I think is a huge step. It's sort of groundbreaking amongst those types of brands, but I think it's one that should be heavily applauded. Now let me tell you why. I mean, years and years ago, there was the old saying that television killed radio. In fact, I think the famous song of video killed the radio star. That has now switched to the point where the internet is killing television. And by the internet as a whole, we mean online. So firstly, I would say that this is not a surprise to me personally. And if I was in any way high up in Adidas, I would be pushing for this exact strategy. You have to remember that it takes a lot of innovation within a big business such as Adidas. You know, Adidas probably have tens of thousands of employees globally, and it takes a lot of balls for a group or for some person in that company to turn around and say, that thing that we've been doing, which clearly works, we think it could be done better if we did this, and to take something that works and clearly works for them. To go down a different avenue is it's groundbreaking, basically. It shows, like I said, innovation and awareness, which a lot of traditional big businesses can lose as they scale upwards. Adidas know exactly who their demographic for their ideal customer is. And if I was to guess, I'd be saying it's both men and women, or boys and girls between the ages of sort of 13 up to 25. It's probably where the core demographic of the people who will wear Adidas clothing and trainers will be. That and sports people as well. People who are wearing sports gear, golfers, you know, anyone in those sort of arenas. So I wonder where I could target 13 to 25 year olds and also people who play sports. Wonder where I could sort of attract them. Where are they going to be spending most of their time? On their phones, on tablets, on computers. They're not watching TV like the generations before us used to. I know I don't. Adidas have realised that with the traditional TV marketing system, that the generation has shifted. This new millennial generation aren't sat down planning their night around what's on TV anymore. They plan their night and then they catch up with on-demand services like BBC iPlayer and ITV Channel 4 Player. Every channel, main channel here in the UK, has an online service. Along with that, a lot of families now have PVR systems such as Sky Plus or TiVo, where you can record things if you're going to be out and then watch them at a later date, or you can pause live TV and then catch up when it's convenient. I actually know families who will pause a program for the first 3 minutes as it's ready to start, just so that they can fast forward the adverts. That's how annoying adverts are. And guess what? If Adidas are paying millions of pounds for TV adverts, the actual number of eyeballs they're going to see is going to be a hell of a lot lower than those same eyeballs, if they were doing something on digital. Because I guarantee the same thing, as soon as TV adverts come on, what do people do? They check Facebook, they check Twitter, they check their emails, they're on a device. I know at any one time when I'm watching TV, I will have at least 2 devices connected to the internet nearby. And if the TV programme isn't holding my attention, or adverts come on, I'm not watching the adverts. I'm going back to here to choose what I actually want to consume. It makes perfect sense. Their target demographic is on devices these days. They're not watching TV adverts. Also, the use of Netflix and Amazon Prime on-demand streaming services. People aren't watching TV like they used to. They're on the internet. I know that there's a few entrepreneurs that I'm certainly aware of, maybe a few that I'm not, who are subscribed to this channel who work for big businesses. And what I will say is Adidas have come out and openly said this is their strategy for the next 4 years to try and grow their e-commerce by 4 times. But they've acknowledged their demographic. Their demographic is perfect for this. Maybe your demographic isn't quite there yet. If your demographic is an older generation, then TV advertising could still be worthwhile for you. But it won't be forever. And that's the thing, is this generational shift as our current generation, myself included, get older. The younger generation are just going to be exactly the same. They're not going to be watching TV like we used to. They're going to be online. They're going to be consuming content when it suits them and not vice versa. So whilst Adidas have been the first to sort of publicly come out and say that this is their strategy, by no means are they going to be the last. In fact, over the next few months and years, you're only going to see more and more big brands making that shift from that traditional TV advertising onto online. Of course, that's going to cause a big shift in the costings involved. It's basic supply and demand. TV adverts have always been traditionally very, very, very expensive. The reality is you could make an advert for Facebook, for YouTube, for anything, a hell of a lot cheaper. Casey Neistat is a fantastic example of this. He says, you don't need big expensive cameras, fancy lighting equipment, you don't need sets and everything else. You can basically create content cheaper than ever before and also reach a level of people which previously you would have struggled to reach. Obviously, in my business, I'm not going to pay for TV advertising, but even if I could afford it, I still wouldn't do it. My target market, I know where they are, and I wouldn't attract them by talking business stuff on a TV advert. The thing is, we're going to see that generational shift of marketeers knowing exactly where to target their demographics, and hats off to Adidas. They've just been the first to publicly come out and say, we know where our demographic is, and now we're going to go after them where they're hanging out. We're not going to try and force them to watch TV. We're just going to go to where their eyeballs are. And that is ultimately how you're going to win in marketing. I'd love to know what you think. Is this a good move? Do you still think there's value in TV? Let me know in the comment section down below. I'd love to hear your thoughts. With that said, enjoy the rest of your day. Hit that like button if you've enjoyed this video. Subscribe if you are new. And I'll catch you, as always, in tomorrow's video. Thank you for watching.